Hey, can you hear?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. That's all right.
And can you see me, hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Can you turn on your picture? You don't have to, but you're so good looking. You may as well.
I wish I was. What do you
Shit.
mean turn my picture? I don't have a webcam.
Oh, that's all right, darling. You're
Well,
doing.
at least not this second.
If people
Anyway,
want to see you, they can look on your phone.
yeah. But I'll sort it out soon enough. But you're looking very beautiful, aren't you?
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. So this is funny, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I saw you on a video of Eric Dubay. Did you go to Thailand to meet him? Did you?
Yes, about 4 months ago in February.
Oh yeah. And how was that?
It was fucking great. It was really
Yeah.
interesting. I really wanted to meet him because I'd fucking spent about fucking 10 hours a day for a few years there, going through a lot of his material. And I wanted to buy his books because I was on my way to Australia. And so he was very nice to agree to meet up with a stranger, I thought, because, he's got a sort of annoying life. He has lots of people sending him horrible threats and shit. And I know
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
like scary or anything, but you never know who's who.
yeah, that's true. Is he a good bloke?
I really like him, yeah. I've been talking to him on and off for 3 years since I started asking questions about the flat earth, and he's always responded. He's always been excellent. And
Yeah.
actually,
Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
yeah, no, you say?
No, well, I've also spoken to him on Facebook before.
Yeah,
You know,
that's all I'm
and
talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he replies to you, and he's willing to give the information, links and everything. Like he's a good bloke in that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know. And that's what actually really surprised me was that he had so much time for people, that he didn't know. But he, at the same time, totally manages successfully to avoid all of that fucking circus rigmarole that everybody else seems to be, out there pumping it on mainstream TV and in newspapers. And I don't know. Eric's done well to avoid being trapped in a bad TV interview or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Nobody's approached him as far as what I asked him. Like people don't ask for him when they want to do a TV segment. They always choose the fucking agents.
the obvious shields like Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer. Like
Exactly.
as soon as you get associated by them or promoted by them, it doesn't look good for you.
I know, they've never acknowledged me once, neither of them, and that is my greatest fucking pleasure on this
What a
journey.
surprise!
Yeah, well, it's because they know I can see through bullshit.
Exactly, and if you saw their trailer to that Flat Earth documentary they were talking about, it was like you see him wearing like retarded glasses and the way they're talking, it's so disingenuous to make people who watch that, oh, Flat Earth, this is ridiculous.
Are you
And,
talking
and, and it's
about the
like,
movie that they were just featured in or something?
well, that documentary.
Oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah. No,
absolutely. And they
yeah,
act
just the
like they're
trailer.
both so. Oh,
Just watching the trailer, I'm like, no fucking thanks. Like, they just
they,
make it look stupid.
and like that, they say like them. Sometimes people say that like people are more attractive when they're really confident, and sometimes I find that makes somebody more unattractive, and they think they're so cool and hot and groovy, and that really really makes people not attracted
Yeah.
to them. Mark Sargent says he has 40,000 subscribers or something, and when he does stuff, there's like 130 people watching.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's all
And they've been exposed. They've been exposed, many times with many
totally.
things about how they all orchestrated this from years ago, to create a business fucking plan, a business model, and all this stuff.
Exactly.
and they just blatantly deny it and move on. You know, instead of bloody flat Earth clues, what about some flat Earth fucking facts?
Yeah.
You know?
He's so repulsive. Oh God, I mean, it's
from a video game standpoint, he's right though, isn't he?
What's that?
From a video game standpoint, is it right?
Yeah, it's amazing the kind of people that will take on that government job, or they might not even think of themselves as government. They might think of it as like, I don't know who even employs these people. Like, I assume it's some aspect of shadow government, and you know.
Yep. And I hate how people like, or some people are, you know, MK Ultra mind control. Why would they have to be mind controlled? They can just be paid agents.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Or they're mind controlled. No, they're fucking just paid agents. They're actors. That's all you have to be.
Yeah,
you're not going to be fucking mind controlled to do what they do.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, some of these people could be criminals. And they're like, well, you know, we've got you doing this, that. You know, if you don't do what we say, you know, we'll do this and that. But at the same time, they could just be in on it. And it's not really hard to figure out.
And at the same time, they could be good, loving, good-hearted people who are just getting strung along for the ride, going with the group because, well, far out, there's no other group to join, so go and join this group, go to this conference because, well, there's no other conference, you know. And so, yeah, there's a lot of, they call them useful idiots, it's a term, like, that they're people who don't know that the people they're hanging with are social engineers and they're using them to bulk up the flock to make it look like a better congregation for everybody else to join, you know. It's fucking wild. Now, did you see much about that New Zealand conference?
No, I didn't. What? Did it actually happen?
I think it's already happened. I think because I saw something.
Really?
Sometimes I have.
I've never seen nothing about it because even the Australian conference, when I heard about on mainstream news like shit, I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never heard this in my life.
When is the Australian conference? I think it's been and gone, hasn't it? I think it was similar in time as the New Zealand one, and the New Zealand one was a few weeks or maybe a month ago.
Yeah, I heard. Like no one rocked up, or there was a bomb scare, or just some nonsense. So
the Australian one, really?
Yeah. I think it could have been easily just a lie, and they're saying, oh, they had a conference, it didn't work out. You know, see you later. Look that way. Oh, there's Kim Kardashian on TV now. You know.
Or maybe there's just not enough interest in Australia. Do you meet any other, do you know on YouTube many other Aussies who are... I know about 5, you know.
Yeah. I know one bloke who, you know, calls himself Basic Default, who I talk to a bit, and he's from Perth, and he's a flat earther. Other than that, I've got, 2 close mates who I've convinced, you know, took a while for one of them, because one of them, you know, ironically, he grew up as a Christian, but he hated it because he had to go to Sunday school and do all this stuff that he didn't believe in. And it took him so hard to realise about the flat earth because he thought it was a religious thing. But what most people don't realise is the people these days at churches are teaching the Bible like it's a literal history book. And they're not using gematria to decipher the numbers. They're not using, you know, because even Jesus says in the book, you know, he talks in parables, you know. And I guess, you know, Eric Dubai's video about, you know, the secret teachings of religion, that one that he released recently is a perfect I guess video of explaining that people who are teaching what they think is religion and teaching this false teaching of these books, that's all they're doing. They're not teaching the right information and not deciphering it properly. Just like, oh, you know, Jesus can't walk on water. Yeah, well, maybe that's a fucking metaphor of the sun's reflection on water, on the ocean. Like, maybe, you know what I mean? And people taking, you know, stuff just ridiculously literal to the point where, you know, you get brainwashed to believing, I'm getting told fairy tales and nonsense. But if you really do the research, there's so much fantastic information in these books that's unbelievable. And people get turned off by that. So, you know, mate Glenn, my second, you know, mate who I convinced about flat earth, you know, it took him a little bit more longer because I had to show him the facts and evidence and realise that, you know, you've been deceived on kind of both levels because there's science and there's religion. And what they've created is a paradigm of, you know, having religion and teaching it falsely around the world to make it look stupid, and all this science. And, you know, you can't have a medium. you can't have an opinion in the middle where, okay, I'm going to take what's right from here and decipher it properly and I guess preach what it really teaches and then and then take real science, because I hate it people say, oh, science is bullshit. No. Science isn't. We have been taught pseudoscience disguised as science.
Exactly.
And that's what then I realise is it's not science. Stop saying science is bad. They're teaching not real science.
Yes.
And so they've got people, fighting, religious people who have been taught false stuff, fighting against science fucking mainstream globe believers who have been taught in false stuff, and none of them are fucking getting it right.
They're all religions. Yeah, they're all religions that require belief.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I tune into Dell's show Beyond the Imaginary Curve as often as I can every Saturday, because I love that they bring it back to the natural science. Can you demonstrate this? Can you demonstrate this?
Common sense. Like, when there's debates going on, people are talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, hold on a minute. Why don't you go outside, have a look around you? You can't feel that you're moving. You can't see that you're moving. All around you there's a horizon. It's horizon because it's horizontal, eye level, and even Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see the curve unless you're in low Earth orbit. Oh, so that means we're requiring faith to believe this, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in a debate, you don't even have to go past common sense, as well as two open pressure systems can't exist, and the natural liquids of water. So them three common sense natural liquids of water, and pressure systems, bang, there you go, the globe's done. Why are we still debating this?
It is simple. It is, but I remember my first 3 months, my first 6 months, my first 12 months. I still have my days where I'm like, I know what I know, but I could be wrong, and I still have days where I think there could, if it was a globe, and if it was spinning so fast that the spin action itself on the environment like a block of cheese. It's all so stupid. You try and logify the globe and you can't do it. You're thinking about the atmosphere spinning around the Earth like a block of cheese, Every meter has to spin faster because it's all supposed, if that's what they say, is that our atmosphere spins with the Earth. And that's how a bird can fly in different directions and isn't just flattened by how fast are we spinning? 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's why when you jump up in the air, the ground doesn't move 10 feet under your feet because the atmosphere is moving with us like a block of cheese.
Yeah, look, the bunch of word salad that comes out of them, it's like, are you fucking retarded? Like, did you fucking do you have the downs or something?
And the other thing is, how far would you have to go in maths to be able to write the kind of equations that prove gravity or Newton's special relativity theory? How far? You have to be an absolute math genius and to be able to complete those equations, and that they don't even necessarily represent reality, which is another reason why so many people just go, oh, I'm not smart enough to determine whether the Earth's flat or a globe,
Oh, I hate that, and it sounds disingenuous, because it's like, but Polaris and this and that, and different lights in the sky look different in certain places. Well, number one, you or I probably haven't been to these places. And number two, how the fuck does lights moving in the sky prove that down here we're actually living in reality curves and moves? And it doesn't. It's got a logical fallacy. Next argument. Next one.
And when you stand on the ground at night and look at the stars and the planets, they don't look like what we're told, even with the naked eye. They don't. They never change their positions, and how far.
Yeah, look like glowing orbs, luminescence. It's just, they don't look like physical places you can go on. And it's like, but all the planets around, or the moon and sun around. Yeah, well, it's like the pool table. Just because the pool, the pool table's around doesn't mean the pool table's round.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the pool table's around. Just because the pool table's around. Just because the pool's, the pool table's around doesn't mean the pool table's round. It's like, it's like Like, their arguments aren't based on anything science or tangible. It's like, you know, and all tests that's been done to try to find the curve, you can't seem to find it. But except one time when National Geographic does it in the worst conditions possible, it's fucking factual. But forget about every other laser test done and every other test done, you know, that we've done recently in the past few years. Forget about all that.
Yeah.
It's
Forget about every YouTuber who's proved it for themselves. I know, it's all because it's beyond us, Scotty. We're not smart enough, and we're just these arrogant fools who think we know better. You know, like I just released all these videos about Neil deGrasse Tyson and Joe Rogan, and they've had like 200 views because people just, one, they don't like a woman looking unattractive and swearing and talking about dicks. But two,
nothing wrong with that.
They don't. I love you, Scotty. Two, they do not like a woman who thinks she's smarter than one of their gods, you know. And I'm not saying I'm smarter than Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm saying I'm equally intelligent, and I have a right to discuss his pseudoscience and ask him for natural scientific evidence for the things that he asks me to believe because they were passed down from the fucking apron strings of his bloody Freemasonic mother above him.
Yeah, and the reality is, you're as smart as you want to make yourself.
Exactly.
You know, it takes a lot of research to make you smart. Like I've been researching for 15 years on everything you could possibly imagine.
That's why I wanted to talk to you, man, because you always are dropping so much knowledge and with so much humour in the comment sections of things that I was like, who's this excellent Aussie?
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean, someone's going to do it. You know, because eventually, you know, over the years, you get tired of all these lies, and you sort of want to wake people up, because the people who are who debate about, you know, certain topics are already going to presupposition like, oh, you know, this is a ball. Now I've got to try and make our observations, you know, work on it. Or if you can't, we'll just make some bullshit up. And it's just like, well, aren't you trying to find the truth?
Yeah.
Like, you got to try and find the truth, not trying to, you know. And then
no, they have to find the thing that fits with them getting their pay packet.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you look at all the...
Yeah, sorry, go.
No, go on.
Just they have to believe whatever they have to believe so that they're still cool in the lunchroom of their freaking boring job. That is the bottom line. People can't lose their jobs, man. And not many people are self-employed and unafraid of their reputation, their ego being attacked. A lot of people are just... Money is the first thing for 99% of people. So it's such a rare person that has not only the self-awareness, the self-education ability to look into this, but you've also not got to be at all materially craving, because that's another thing that stops you from looking into the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sad, like a couple of years ago when I was working in a factory at lunchtime, I was debating this bloke, and he's like, oh, you know, natural physics proves the bloody ball, mate. And I'm like, yeah, well, so I explained to him the natural physics of water. He didn't like it very much. You know, and he got fucking frustrated. I'm like, dude, why are you getting frustrated? We're just having a conversation. Just because you can't prove what you can prove, and you know, I'm blowing you out in the water, it doesn't mean you've got to get angry about it. Do you see me getting angry? Like, that's it. He was getting fucking frustrated. You know?
We should be angry because we're dealing with all day long people who are ridiculing, attacking, and so threatened their cognitive dissonance makes them be nasty.
Yeah.
And not only just for one day, it's like I've been dealing with this for 3 years. Every single friend I've pretty much mentioned it to, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable when you know, you start talking to people. Oh, no, I believe there's flat this that, you know, and it's like, yeah, but have you done any informational research? And usually their research will be debunking videos or fucking a quick Google wiki search. Oh yeah, you're wrong. Oh, am I? Oh, sorry. Fuck.
I know.
My bad.
They go to YouTube or Google page and they go, oh, 10 proves the Earth is a spinning ball. And you're like, dude, oh my God, I've been 10 hours a day for 3 years. You think I haven't come across that fucking blog yet? You think I haven't come across this? Do you think I haven't? Do you think I didn't spend a year really analysing every point carefully before I decided to publicly admit that I think the Earth's not a frickin' ball.
Yep.
I mean, I really was embarrassed for so many months. I started to publicly talk about it after 6 months, but not on like my own channel or anything for at least 2 years.
Well, my story was funny because I first got conned into it because I started looking at some flat Earth stuff like what's his name, Matt Boylan or Powerland or whatever he wants to call himself, and the comedy stuff, and then eventually I stumbled upon the Flat Earth Society, not controlled opposition government at all, and and the Flat Earth Society. Oh, how does gravity work? You know, the Earth accelerates and what blah blah and goes up, and straight away, see you later. And it took me like maybe a month or two after that to actually find Eric Dubay and real information. So I was conned. I was originally conned by the Flat Earth Society, but when you're someone like me, you know, information and truth, and you're willing to look at any video, doesn't matter if it you know, because I don't have a belief system. A belief system, I guess, of knowing and facts and reality. Like, you know, because you can't say I believe mainstream science. You know, you can't say, I believe in religion. You have to be yourself and decipher the information yourself, and then be your own person, have your own opinion.
Point by point, yes.
Yeah, and not be Agent Smith in the Matrix. You know.
Yeah. So can I ask you a bit about who you are, or do you want to? Do you mind me asking private questions? So where do you live in Australia, or roughly?
Melbourne, Australia.
Unreal. I used to live in Melbourne. Where? Let me tell you where I lived. All the freaking arty, trendy places.
No doubt.
But you've lived there all your life. I can sort of hear it in your voice.
Yeah, all my life, yeah. I mean,
I fucking love my friends from Melbourne, and I never see them because I never go there anymore. And I've lost so many, but I know they'd be like family if I ever ran into them again.
Yeah, definitely. No, well, the first I've ever travelled is Queensland. You know, when I was about 2 years old and about 8. That's about it. Other than that, I've just been here all my life, really.
And so what, 15 years, 10, 15 years you've been looking into truth. What was the trigger for you to say
definitely
fuck it? Because that's a long time, and back then it was scary. I remember in 2005 it was fucking scary to even Google 9/11.
Yeah, and now if you Google search anything, you know, bloody truth-wise, all you'll get is the search results debunking and saying it's shit and stupid, and you know, it's like, wow, that's not fucking, you know, sus at all. But yeah, I started with 9/11, and it still took me a few years after that to realise the real truth about 9/11, the con job, the no planes, and the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Architects and engineers for 9/11, truth, government, social engineered detour. Yeah. And so nobody ever hears Judy Wood.
Yeah, Judy Wood. Yeah. What do you think of Judy Wood?
I fucking love her. I adore her. I think she's one of the smartest scientists alive, and I really want to tell her about flat Earth, but I figure other people must have tried, and she's probably just not into it.
Yeah, I hate how some people are open to certain things, but other things they just see you later.
But I can understand certain. Yeah. I put it this way: it pisses me off when truthers won't touch flat Earth, like Mark Passio, Max Egan. I consider all those guys a total letdown and completely impotent in this realm now because they won't look. But there are some people like Judy Wood who, for some reason, I give them a pass. I feel like she is such a unique figurehead, speaking on behalf of her own theory about directed energy weapons or whatever, that I really know that it would be such a detour for her to go down into this for a few years. But maybe she is privately, and maybe all these people are going to come out of the woodwork in a month or in a year. Who knows?
Because it's true, those buildings were practically vaporised.
They did vaporize them, yeah. They blew away. They dustified them.
Because they have technology beyond we can imagine, that's for sure. And the thing also, right, these people never look into the conspiracy side of it. Like, you know, a day after the 9/11 towers, you know, collapsed, like the day before the insurance was up, And if you look at all the information, and even the Freemasons,
Yeah.
directing the globe Earth over the years, and all the such obvious, red flags, but they just conspiracy that see that. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like what so you don't look at life like a conspiracy could exist, and
It's just
and
a
most
big
people
defense mechanism. Yeah. And
Exactly.
it's because they're scared, really. I reckon, like, my dad knows the moon landing's bullshit, but if he were to ever have to admit it, then it'd mean he'd have to look at all the other shit that he's also fucking been lied to about, and it's too painful for some of them. He doesn't want to upset his position that he's worked all his life to get himself into. And I guess a lot of these things, a lot of people who are older than me have told me, you're fucking insane for saying the things you say and doing the things you do. And they're always men, and they're always 20 or 30 years older, and I think, well, I wouldn't be doing it if you'd fucking done your job. I really feel that. All of us have to stand up against lies.
Like, at least you're insane, but I'm going to stay here. I'm going to work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, be a slave. I'm going to get me robbed from the government. Yeah. I'm going to be as subservient as possible. But you're crazy, Elissa. It's retarded.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, we all suffer. That's what's so interesting. There's no path that you can take that stops your suffering. So it's sort of, I just feel like try and align yourself with truth wherever, whenever you can, because truth doesn't change. You have less to remember when you tell the truth. And if you, like, I've done a lot of things and said a lot of things over the years that a lot of people just went, you're fucking insane. That's not correct. That's wrong. That's conspiracy theory. And then 5, 10, 15 years later, it comes out true. And I didn't have to change anything about my life. They had to go through the whole denial and repression and then facing it later. But the whole time I was free to go and live my life because I'd already aligned with truth without resistance. And I'm so thankful that my life is so freaking
adventurous and.
Well, I was going to say so empty that I have nothing to lose. So is your life a bit like that too? Like have you got a wife or kids or?
Well, it's sorry to feel that you feel that way. You got nothing to lose, but well, I got no kids.
I just want to clarify, when I say nothing to lose, I've always trusted fully in God or nature, whatever word you want to put on the creator, the originator. I've always had full faith in it and trust in it that everything will, que sera, sera. And so that's a really nice way to live life. It's the only way I can live because otherwise I'd be stressed out too much about it.
Yeah. And sometimes things happen in life and you think they're so bad or this, that, and you don't really understand that and then eventually you realise what happened and you realise what you learned from it and you realise maybe it happened for a reason. You know what I mean?
I love every minute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to bloody jump off a cliff yesterday, but I'm good again today.
Wow. Well, geez. Well, I've been close to jumping in front of a freight train too, so we're.
Well, that's fucking. I mean, there's no big cliffs on this island. The tallest one's about 10 meters, so I'm sort of exaggerating, but there's no mucking around if you jump in front of a train. So please, never do that.
Yeah, well,
because you're so good looking.
We've all been at it. Oh, well, I really wish it really was. We've all been down kind of that road, no doubt. Especially when life is, because if you look at it this way, right? If you look at it this way, right? Now, we come into this life, and then, this is all right, it's cool, okay, I'm going to go over there now. No, you've got to stay in school. What do you mean you've got to stay in school? Oh, no, you got to fucking, so I'm just going to go over here now. No, we've created a society with money, so you have to be a slave to actually survive, But can't I go start growing food in the bush? No, you don't own that land. But who owns that land? We do. What do you mean? Who says that? Did God tell you that? And it's ridiculous because we live in a system of blackmail, right?
Yeah.
The reality situation is, they have created a society where you need money. So by default, people who don't want to comply and be a slave and work should get free money. Yes, it should be whatever it is, not as much because they're not working. But we shouldn't have to, Because if you're on a dole and certain things like that, they make you work and try and find a job and go through all these fucking hoops, right? And it's like, I don't ask for this. Like, I didn't come to this world to be a 9-to-5 slave.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You're blackmailing me.
The dole made me so depressed. But it's
what do you think on it? I don't know. You fucking jumped in front of a freight train.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to make me go through all these hoops.
Yeah.
And do stuff I didn't want to do. And it's like, what right do you have to blackmail me?
You're
and then
too
if you don't do what they
smart,
say or show up on employment agencies, you get no fucking money, or they stop it. And it's like, you've created a society where you need money. And you're blackmailing me to survive.
I know, and I hate it when they've got that power to just turn you off, because even for 24 hours, when you've got no money, or you're supposed to get your money on a Tuesday, so, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday before that, you're already not eating as much as you want and having no fun and no pleasures and no freedom, and then the Tuesday comes and your money that you've totally scrounged every other day, to get to that Tuesday, they don't give you the money that day, and they don't realize that nobody on the dole has $10 spare to tide them over. So it's like just a day where you just have to sit and frickin' meditate, but it does make you homicidal, and if not suicidal, and that's what is so disgusting. And the thing is, our whole society would work, everybody would work if it was for the good of each other, but the crap they try and make you do when you have to do,
when you have
these
a society
days.
Of money, when you have a society of money and greed, the only people who benefit are psychopaths, the people who have no feelings, and they're not probably human beings.
And they're the ones that get promoted. The worse they are, the higher they get. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll kill their mother for a dime. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with the government, right? It's got so like the funny thing is, right? The last, I lost my job about 2 months ago. I was working as a garbage man, truck driver.
I love garbage man.
Yeah. And essentially, I about 8-9 months ago, because my eyes were getting really bad and I couldn't drive a truck anymore, and I thought I needed glasses, so I got my eyes checked. Hey, so I got my eyes checked, and they said to me, "Oh, you've got an eye disease. It's called keratoconus. It's one where your eyes kind of curve in, and so I lost my job because of that, and then and my eyes are getting worse, and then surgery cost $2,500 in each eye.
No. Cannabis oil, Rick Simpson concentrate for 3 months, and like 5 carrots a day at least.
Really?
Yeah, you will change it. You watch the carrots really nourish the eyes.
Well, you could be right, but
I believe everything's reversible, so I always have to say that.
No, I agree. But at the same time, that can make you feel like it really isn't.
Oh yeah, they doctors. That's why I don't go to doctors.
Nothing can be done. Nothing can be done. See you later.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the lenses of my eyes have curved in. The doctors say there's nothing to do about it, but obviously it's probably bullshit now. But so I've had surgery in one eye, and so all it does is not make it any better, just make sure it can't get any worse. So I've got to have surgery on the left eye now.
No, Scotty, we're going to get you doing some eye exercise videos on YouTube. No, look at it come from a metaphysical perspective always with your own body. Because it's always an opportunity to know yourself when you have something with your body that's going off perfection, right?
Yeah, to be fair, I did actually try that. I did try.
Do you know what Louise Hay says? She says when your eyes go, there's something you don't want to see. So every time you pass a doorway or pass a mirror, you say, "Thank you, universe. I am happy to see everything in my world," or some little affirmation. And you wait. Your eyes will get better. Trust me, just for 3 months, and then after that you can get another operation.
Yeah, but the dilemma is that I've already had surgery in the right eye, so it kind of coats it so it can't get any you can't actually get better or worse.
I don't like the sound of what they're doing. Just keep your natural other eye as long as you can.
The also thing is, right, they're like, oh, guess because I applied for a disability pension, right?
Yeah.
And they said that, oh, you didn't have your left eye stabilised, but they didn't do enough research to realise that it's not going to actually make my job capacity any better, and they fucked up. And in person, they told me they fucked up. You should be on the pension, but they didn't fix it. They said, "Oh, nothing to do about it now. Apply for it next year." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So they said, "Have surgery on your left eye, and then you can apply for it again." So essentially, they're blackmailing me and saying, and I'm like, how am I going to come up with $2,500?
Yeah.
Or well, I don't know, go to a public clinic. Yeah, but by the time I go to a public clinic, my left eye would have gone blind.
Yeah.
And
so you've got to heal yourself,
retarded.
Scotty. You've got to heal yourself. You cannot rely on that system. It's not good.
Yeah.
So many things in there are not good. There are the occasional well-meaning doctor and nurses and stuff, and there are some great medicines within the system, but in general, anything that is slowly degrading can be slowly rebuilt. But what we need to do is look at ourselves really hard, and we have to go, okay, well, I got to stop eating Cheetos. I got to stop eating donuts with pink icing.
100%.
I got to stop taking in any kind of toxins.
Yeah.
I mean, not instantly, not tomorrow. You just do, each day you do a little bit less of the shit and a little bit more of the good. And then you get yourself so well that you can take up, doing shit again if you want. But you become the master of your own health and wellness, and you're no longer in fear.
I agree, but when they're such blackmailing and the system that you need to rely on now because of your eyes, just telling you got to do certain things to get certain things. It's horrible, but what they do. But essentially, on another topic, have you ever done a fast before?
Yeah, many.
Yeah, for 3 days, or how long did you ever do it for?
The longest I've done is 7 days. I usually only do 3 because I'm a pussy. But I've done 4 days. I just did one in Thailand at a wellness centre. That was the best thing I've ever done. That included,
how was it? How'd you feel after it?
Oh, I felt so high and full of love and clean and wonderful. And, it's always good to love yourself in any small way whenever. But a cleanse is just incredible. And normally what I fast, I just take vegetable juices and water and sometimes even vegetable broth in the night and just sort of liquids. And, 4 or 5 days is, pretty good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That'll heal your eye as well if you just fast 1 day a week or 2 days a month or something like that.
I've never fasted in my entire life, but on Sunday I made a plan to start changing a few things in my life. And I'm on the second day of the fasting. I started on Monday, and I've drank at least 13 cups of water during that period. Not tap water. Even if bottled water is still it's all you can get, right?
You got to get water, Yeah,
so I've got I'm on my second day, and I feel fantastic.
I know. You
I don't even
might
feel
tend
hungry.
To crash on the second or third or fourth day.
Yeah.
But if you can ride it out for at least 24 hours after, when you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm really fucking hungry, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm annoyed, I feel like crying, I want to punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
When you get to that stage of frustration, then that's the cleansing of your emotional. That's getting down to the bottom of the bucket, And if you can just fast for 24 hours after that, then you start bringing in nice things slowly, It makes you, each time you do it, it makes you want more bananas and less bread and more,
Yeah, I'll be thinking about fruits, the last, day, I haven't eaten, over 24 hours, and I've been thinking about fruits and vegetables, for some reason, more than anything else. I'm like, that's strange. I don't know.
There's a lot of change happening right now across the board. It's not just me. I'm noticing a lot of my friends are making big changes, and we're not even really. It's not like a desire. It's happening so easily. I don't know. I'm noticing it in myself as well. There's a really interesting energy because there's 3 eclipses in a short succession. There was one 2 days ago, 4 days ago. Yeah, there was one.
There's not just
2 weeks.
Like I said, it's not for no reason.
So everything is coming down. It's incredible. It's a really amazing time. I can notice that consciousness, which is, I'm talking about not just my own personal, but the interconnected thing that runs through my mind, your mind, and every other being's mind, that thing itself is lifting all the time. I can feel that. And I don't think it's imagination, because I can see it in everything, in the mirror.
Yeah, I've even felt me pineal gland, like, last week or for a couple of weeks. Just pulsating.
Yeah.
And then I noticed what that was. I'm like, that's my fucking pineal gland.
Yeah.
Like, it's right in the middle of my head, and it's pulsating.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the fast is, I usually smoke marijuana, because I suffer from what they want to call ADHD and bipolar disorder. Who knows how that happened? Maybe it was the poison.
You're called a beautiful, sensitive human being, and you don't have any bipolar, and you don't have any ADHD. That's my diagnosis. I'm a professional. I'm a professional friend, and I'm telling you, ADHD is not a thing. All you are is an energetic being full of God or nature's energy that occasionally has swings quickly between highs and lows. That's beautiful. That means you're alive, you're feeling, you're a whole being.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, man. But they want to drug all the people like you.
Yeah, I've always been skeptical of what they've diagnosed and what they've said, and but at the same time, it could be something, but something that was done purposely by vaccines, by medicine, if anything, but who knows?
Our diets, our family situation, our life, our work. Australia's a shit hard country, man. You need $1,000 a week to live anywhere, even in the outskirts of a big city. And, to pay your rent, your phone, your car, your tolls, your taxes, your parking fines, all that crap. You need a lot of money. And
especially
the only way to get that is a job in a corporation, whereby they forcibly take out tax and all that. And then with that job comes health pay and sick pay, but you can guarantee the job is not creatively satisfying you or soulfully satisfying you. I mean, if it is, you're lucky. But if you're a normal, full human and you want to experience life on this plane, this beautiful, heavenly, earthly experience, and you don't want to spend all day in a freaking office cubicle, if you want your mind to be free and your body to be free, it's so difficult to live in Australia because you can't be self-employed. You need 25 certificates. You've got to do an extra training course every 2 weeks. It's fucking crap. Yeah,
just like most doctors, right? The best thing somebody with cancer could do is fast. Yeah, the doctors never recommended fasting. And my mother passed away a few years ago from cancer, but they never recommended her having a fast.
I'm so sorry, Scotty. That's
that's
sad.
all right. Yeah.
No, but it does. It's fucking not all right, because
you
these doctors could have fucking helped her so easily. Have you ever tried Rick Simpson cannabis oil concentrates?
No, but I've heard they can actually kill cancer cells.
They freaking turn around chronic 20-year disease patterns in under 2 weeks.
Yep.
They make a lip cancer right where you put your cigarette go away in 4 days. The Rick Simpson concentrate, which is the full plant, not just CBD, which is what all the people are saying is so great these days, but that's another fucking scam. I wouldn't buy medical marijuana from any company unless I know them, unless I'm watching whoever make it. I make my own oil, and I teach people how to make their own oil, because if you want to get well from something, you better oversee what the hell goes into it. I worked at McDonald's when I was 16, and I know people spat on the grill.
Oh, Jesus. But Elissa, didn't you know that in the mid 19th century, 1900s, whatever, essentially what happened is Negroes started raping because of marijuana.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, and then the Mexicans too. They started doing crazy artwork.
How can you argue that rubbish?
It's not racist. And that's actually what made it popular, because everyone's like, I fucking love Negroes. I love their parties, I love their bodies, I love the way they dance, I fucking dig those people, and now I'm going to go and smoke weed with them.
Love their big back clocks, you know.
I was going to say asses too, they have great asses.
Yeah, and what they do is divide and conquer. They try to get the races to fight against each other. They try to get the sexes to fight each other. They try to get the religion and science to fight each other.
Yeah.
But instead of actually looking at the people who's actually controlling this and actually ruling us, we're fighting amongst each other. Like all the feminism and this. It's like men and women are meant to be together. We are intelligently designed to come together as one unity. We're different because we have different attributes for a reason. There's no men are better than women. Women are better than men. No, you fuckwit. We're meant to come together in unity.
I know. It's so depressing. I really try hard not to get entangled in that stuff because I don't feel like I am a man or a woman. I do have female parts, if anyone's wondering. Interested? No, I'm not going to give out my phone number, but
I'll let you know later.
No, but I don't feel like I am my body. I feel like my body is a car that I get around in, and that I am the spirit, and the spirit isn't a sex. The spirit is not. The spirit is not the age that you are. The spirit is ageless. It's been even before this incarnation, maybe. So tell me, where did you grow up? Were you in religion, or what were your parents into? Science, evolution? Because religion wasn't that big in Australia when I was growing up. But you're like 20 years probably younger than me.
Yeah, well, I grew up because my dad was Catholic and mum was Christian, so essentially we went to Sunday school. We became Christians. We went to Sunday school for a while, and me and my sister got bored of it, and we just were like, well, this is a waste of our time. We really have to come here, so we just stopped going, and at a young age, because they were just teaching all the bullshit anyway. Like, so it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth my time, and so that stopped.
I was the same, babe. I went to Sunday school just for one day because Mum wanted me to be sociable. My brothers didn't go for some reason, or maybe they did and I don't remember them being there. But we had to make a picture of God, and I made a picture of a sheep because I didn't even know what God was because I hadn't even been to primary school yet. I'd never heard of God.
Yeah.
And
God's frequency, nature, energy, symmetry, numbers, it's more complex because most people, God doesn't exist because they think he's somebody big bloke in the clouds. That's not fucking what God means or is, you fucking idiot. Like, before you debunk what God doesn't exist, fucking actually learn what God fucking actually means.
Yeah.
And God, like they say, God is good.
As
it's
Gav
literal, man.
McMillan,
God is good.
Yeah. And let's define our terms. Let's start by defining our terms. If you don't want to call it God, call it nature. Nature is good. Like, everybody will go, but lions eat little baby fucking rabbits or whatever. It's like, yeah, but if you recognize that rabbit's energy is going to transform and be a lion one day, then you can fucking wipe out a lot of the so-called problems on the planet that are bothering you. Like, you actually can, and the truth is energy can't be created or destroyed, so it's not just a fanciful New Age theory. This is the realm. I mean, this is, I would call it coming from knowing. Maybe it is a belief system that I've had somehow installed without knowing I've been socially engineered. But that to me feels like eternal truth that I just know from my soul. Yeah.
And you see a lot of programming on TV. Like, you know the Big Bang Theory, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. But at the start of it, it's like science history. There is a Big Bang, and what they do is they show you.
Oh, you mean the theory? I thought you meant the TV show. Sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I mean the TV show. But I mean the intro. Have you seen the intro to the TV show?
No.
Well, what it does is it's math, science, history. It all started with the Big Bang. What they do is they show you a segment of clips of the whole indoctrination from the Big Bang all the bullshit all the way up to now. And I told my dad, do you see the programming there?
Programming.
And he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Didn't you just see the programming that just took place right then in your subconscious?
Yeah.
And the reason why I knew about it is because nothing gets past my fucking subconscious anymore. I'm like, I can see it plain as day. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yes.
Like, and you watch the news, I can't watch TV anymore because you see the programming like through the people talking, for the ads. It's unbelievable.
Me too, mate. When I was in Australia recently, I could not believe the TV because I haven't watched TV for many years, but also just the culture shock of Australian TV. The amount of globe propaganda, the Star Trek is everywhere, but also even when you're watching comedy shows like Sean Micallef, whatever his show's called, there's constantly a freaking globe spinning in the background of every scene. It's almost like they want us to talk about it.
Yep. It's everywhere, like symbolism, and even
exactly, that's what it is. It's the Masons putting their freaking stamp on everything, in everything. Yeah.
And they try and confuse us, with Freemasonry and other so-called secret societies, and who is the Jesuits, and the thing is we can't comprehend or we probably don't even have a clue who's running things. But, we can have ideas. And
I don't think it's that complicated. You can look back to, like, the 1917, whenever they brought in the Federal Reserve. The families that overtook the printing of money that now control the central banks that are centrally controlled by the Rothschild family. Rothschild, Rockefeller,
Rothschilds,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you name it. But at the same time, I still have a sneaking suspicion that they're put in place to look like they're running things.
Oh, yeah, that could be possible too. And I'm still 50-50 on the concept that these people may be being puppeteered by the worldly entities, I've heard from several shaman over the years that when Freemasons go past the 32nd degree, that they take on an entity that operates them, like for the rest of their life. This entity completely operates them, and these entities are the things that want to fuck kids and drink blood and traumatize things and then fuck them and then kill them and do all the things that these people are reporting all around the world that are supposedly happening that nobody can believe.
Well, you've got Pizzagate's fake news,
Yeah, well, yeah. Have you heard of Fiona Barnett?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. If you had, you would remember. I'm going to send you a video of hers to watch. Right. She will fucking curl the hairs on your teeth, that woman. She is an Australian-born woman about my age who was sexually trafficked for years. Her parents didn't know that every time they dropped her with her grandparents, that the grandparents who were immigrants to Australia after the Second World War, they rented her out for sex and stuff. She was a victim of Nicole Kidman's dad, apparently, and many famous Australians. She talks about ritual murders where people getting their heads chopped off with axes, like Australian TV personality. It sounds so insane, but the more years you look, the more years you look, the more you see, the more things add up. The more researchers that bring a little bit of information to the pile, the more you go, holy shit, these people are doing this. This is what Satanism is. It's topsy-turvy. It's turning good upside down and doing bad. Yeah. And
it's not a red demon with horns,
What was that?
It's not a physical red demon with horns that'll come out from under your bed, you know what I mean?
I don't think it is. I actually think it's just a human being, and I think human beings can put on robes and masks and do whatever they want, but ultimately they are the being doing it.
I mean, you could argue that psychopaths are really the closest to the demons. You could get, right?
Yeah, and I mean, don't you reckon that all of us could potentially act as a psychopath at any moment, given a certain trigger? Like, I mean, any single person you meet, the most pacifist to the most violent, any single person could have an event that could trigger them to do an action that is described as psychopathic. So, anyone could murder or rape or whatever. And I also think it's very interesting to talk about for me because I had a really good friend who murdered his wife. Well, he stabbed her 8 times in a psychotic frenzy.
What happened? He stabbed her? Shit.
He stabbed her 8 times in the kitchen because he couldn't get access to the baby and he thought he'd killed her. He couldn't get access to his child because he'd broken up with her. All his money was in the house that he had bought, and she had the house, and she had the baby, and her parents were living with her, and they were stopping him from seeing his daughter. And, when life turns hard, they had another pregnancy which died, and that when that baby died, they had a breakup, and the sadness and, life does shit to people. And he stabbed her, then he thought he'd killed her, he ran up the road and hung himself in a toilet block. But, he was a really beautiful, intelligent, well-spoken, excellent friend, wonderful guy. Yeah. I love him still to this moment. And he just had circumstances, and I think possibly a slight imbalance in his mind, brought about by the emotions, and
no doubt,
he lost it.
Yeah, I've got a mate going through something similar where, his, only months ago, his missus had a child, and she up and just left, and then she started lying and saying and getting a restraining order, saying all these lies because she just wants to move on without having any baggage of him. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to him, I'm like, does she realize how that would feel if you did that to her?
Yeah.
And then they went to court and she didn't show up, so it's looking bad for her because they're seeing all her lies because she's a citizen of England, so she won't get any government benefits unless she has a child. But if she tells the government that she's with him, they'll get less government benefits. And so people do the most demonstrable things and lie for their own benefit, and it's fucking it hurts to see friends in this situation because all of my friends, every single friend I've had who's had a kid, the relationship hasn't worked out. That the girl's fucked off, and they're left picking the pieces up, trying to just trying to see their child once or twice, maybe a fortnight.
Yeah.
And it's incredible because the thing is, right, if people said, right, you couldn't get out of your relationship or marriage with a child unless you have good reason to, because and we won't support, and the government won't support you financially unless you give a good reason, because people just do it because I've got a kid, the government will support me now. I don't have to have a man or his money or blah blah, and it's just like women. The government gets in the way, and if the government didn't exist, these situations probably wouldn't even happen.
Yeah,
the government.
Yeah.
And
I think you're really onto something there. Like the so-called support that we're getting is just socially engineering us all to
destroying us. It's destroying the relationships.
Yeah.
Because if there's no support, then the woman would think, maybe I should stay with him, blah blah. Because some women just want another man, just because of whatever.
I have seen so many.
If the men leave
on both sides, what I see mostly is just people who don't even like each other, let alone love each other, getting together so that they're normal and they look like they're socially acceptable. I suppose. I don't know how people can even share a bed if they don't have that much like and connection and passion. But a lot of people I know that are in couples are not that together. They pretend they are. Everyone thinks they are. It looks good on paper and everything, but they're not really. There's no actual real reason, or I don't know what I mean, but their relationship isn't even real. So that then when they bring a child into it, they can't expect that everybody's going to act like it's the 50s, because everybody's been in it selfishly from the start. Like I see chicks that I really know that they really are just wanting to have a baby so that they can get a percentage of a guy's paycheck. And that's the fucking most meanest, saddest thing. But that's how life has made us. That's what the Rothschilds and those families who print money, that's what they've done to us all. And the men too, like a lot of men. It goes both ways because women can do this too. Whoever earns the most can assume that they are that lends them a certain power. But for me, I've never been able to accept anybody have power over me with their money. I just don't do it. I just can't dig it. It just doesn't work. Mainly because I don't.
Once you realise someone's driven by more than just love and being and liking that person, then game over.
Yeah. I reckon we've all been turned into little selfish freaking atheists thanks to our modern religion of scientism. Yeah. So tell me, after Sunday school, what happened? Just one sec, I've got to get some weed. Tell me more about your childhood.
Well, first of all, I usually smoke. Smoke weed pretty regularly. But the reason why I stopped for this 3 days is because there's no way I'm going to be smoking weed and try and do a fast.
No. Well, actually, I have at times smoked weed through fasts. You will get hungry and you just go to sleep instead. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I'm not risking that, right? But I feel fine anyway.
But weed is always good. It's a good medicine. I really like it, as you can tell.
Oh, fucking hope it is. Fucking hope it makes you happy, hungry, and.
I didn't smoke. For about 2 days, I smoked again today. Yesterday afternoon. I didn't smoke. I think it was a day and a half. And I got so moody, emotional, angst up, right? I was like crying. I was like pulling my hair out. But it was
because of smoking or?
No, because I couldn't actually get any. Normally I have.
Yeah.
Normally I just have it, And someone said, I'll bring you some at 6. And then... of course, 8 came, 9 came, 10. And, as the hours are passing, the emotions are just right. And then you realise, well, I'm not going to get to smoke tonight, so that means I'm going to have to freaking dream. And you know how annoying dreaming is?
Oh fuck me, yeah. Well, my dream last night was I broke the fast. I ate something, and I'm like, I was so pissed off. And I woke up, thank God.
What did you eat in your fast?
I think it was some toast. Just some Vegemite and toast, the old Aussie way, and it was like fuck, and I was so disappointed with myself, and then I woke up and I'm thinking, thank God, because you don't realise what's reality until you wake up. So
I know.
How can you really decipher what's real?
My dreams are so freaking real.
Yeah, I don't like dreaming because it just usually it ends up where you want to get out of it.
I'm tired. If I dream, when I wake up in the morning, I'm tired. Whereas when I just go to bed nice and stoned. I just put my head down and 12 hours later I raise it up like, I was off planet totally. Off plane.
Yeah. Well,
back to your family.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, I got a sister who's 2 years older than me. She got so many kids. She doesn't live with us anymore. She lives like in Bendigo.
Did you say 7 kids?
Yeah, she got about 7, 8 kids.
Fucking unreal, God, that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I would honestly have to really think about their names, their ages, and everything because I've seen some of them, but not all of them because she lives, I live in the suburbs and she moved away a long time ago, well, years ago now, and
you don't have to explain, that to me.
Yeah, no, I've had a practical, normal growing up, school and then high school, and excellent mum and dad, like the most loving, caring, parents you could ever imagine.
That's why you're so lovely.
Yeah, never fucking ever swore. So I don't know how I developed, but every time I would say anything, they're like, Scott. But my parents weren't religious or anything like that, but they they never preached anything or ever talked about it or anything like they just, I guess, grew up like that and just I guess get over it. And so my parents were supporting me all my life, and essentially if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be here right now. So I appreciate mum and dad. She isn't here with me, but she's always with me anyway, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's that's one of the reasons. After quitting my job and my eyes were gone funny, I gave myself a reason to want to stay here, and so I bought a puppy. Which because I've got 2 videos. Before the one where I show myself, where I've got 2 videos of her and the other dog I have, which is my mate's dog. He's having trouble, so he's staying at our house. So I bought a puppy because my sister left a few years ago, my mum passed away, and my puppy, I had a Maltese cross terrier named Sassy a few years ago, and she passed away. And right now it's just a boy German Shepherd, 5 years old, my dad and me. So we needed a feminine energy as well.
Yeah.
So I got her name's Missy. She's about 6 months old. She's a border collie, cross with a Kelpie.
Oh, unreal.
She's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, if you go on my YouTube page, there's 2 videos of her, which goes for 30 seconds or whatever, and the dogs and playing and that. But it has some flat earth in it. It has some flat earth humor in it. So both of them.
Good.
So they go for a few seconds. So check them out when you can.
Well, I love dogs and flat earth, so I will check them out.
Yeah. So my life is just full of love now with her. She's a little angel. She can be a little deviant, of course, but she's just made my life so much.
I totally get it. And I wouldn't have if I didn't get my own dog a few years ago. And I had a dog when I was a little kid, and I always wanted another one. And I always thought, I have to wait till I have my own land and my own house, and I've got to be still for 25 years. And then this friend just had her and went away temporarily, and I ended up keeping her. And
did you have any out, or was that in the past?
No, she's here. She's right.
Oh, what is she? And how old is she? Tell me about her.
She's a Mexican street dog, but she looks to me half Labrador and half greyhound, actually.
Yeah, I love crossbreeds. I love mixed dogs. You know what I mean?
Oh, she's really pretty, and she's super the fastest dog on the island. But she's completely submissive. She doesn't ever. I've never seen her be bigger than any other dog. She's always smaller than every dog she meets, and she's amazing. She's my best friend, and I was just thinking today, God, it's so good to love again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
is. Sad but true. But real love, that's what I'm talking about. It's easy to have sex and fun and drinks and talking and conversation and ongoing friendships and all that. But really love where your heart is actually bleeding towards another thing. And it's bleeding towards you. Oh, my God, it makes you vulnerable, and it's wonderful. I'm so happy.
Because, love trumps all. Because if some bloke rocked in my house and said to me, I'll give you $1 billion right now for Missy, I'll tell him to get fucked.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? No way. Love trumps all. And, that's what we need in life. Instead of being, conflicted with each other, we need love. And also, something I want to also talk about is, let's say what's your preference for intelligent design? Well, look at numbers, look at geometry, look at language, look at DNA, open your eyes. There you go, right? But the best way to approach it would be, right, okay, so was Pac-Man intelligently designed? Yes, by us. In his world, could he comprehend his creator, which is us? No? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why the fuck could we fully comprehend it?
Yeah, we don't have to know.
We're not
everything.
Supposed to.
Yeah, we're just supposed to be here.
We are created in this world.
We're just supposed to be here looking around and going, fucking wow, there's a coconut. Fucking wow, look at the water. Fucking wow, look at that mountain. Fucking wow, let's drink coffee.
Fucking wow.
Let's fucking eat.
Tits,
Yeah, we are just supposed to be having a good fucking time here. Loving and creating and colorizing and inventing and being free to trade and all the stuff that we are going to do so soon.
Money has taken our power of freedom and creation.
I just saw an amazing story today about a town in Mexico, 20,000 people. It's in Michoacan, which is one of the states where there's the most violence. Yeah. And this town for 7 years has had no killings, no kidnappings, no abductions because they got rid of government. They won't let any cops into the town or any politicians or anybody even with a sticker on their car of any political propaganda. And now there's 18 other towns and cities in Mexico watching this town and following on. And all we have to do is tell every town in the world that we need to go back to governing in small circles and then choosing each small circle chooses their person to represent at the next circle. Not this bullshit that we've got now.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. We need police. Number one, police usually come after the damage is done.
Yeah.
Number two, what? So we can't have little tribes and societies where if someone fucks up, we all get together and say, excuse me, you're fucked up. Like, what are they going to do? Is some guy going to just kill every single person?
And also,
would kick their head and throw them out,
Wouldn't it be nice to be actually judged by 12 of your peers if you did murder someone, or if you did rape someone, or if you did make a, miscarriage of judgment and got drunk and killed someone? Wouldn't it be nice to be judged by people who actually know you, know your true intentions and heart, rather than the system, this whole bullshit system? Yeah, it's coming to an end. It's being exposed for the Freemasonic ruled, claptrap, male-dominated. Totally, every single man in there is compromised and ineffective and not actually using any of his man abilities.
Exactly. That's why they're trying to put chemicals in plastics and stuff like that to feminise men. Because once all men are feminized or gay or something, right? Essentially, who's going to fucking be the warrior and start fighting, getting weapons and start fucking fighting back?
And men are totally psychologically conditioned to be gay as well, even more than probably girls are, because all of those boarding schools and all of those churches, all of those priests, men are people talk about the Me Too movement and all the girls who've been, raped and whatever, but I know so many men who would never ever talk about their experience in a public environment. Some of them even enjoyed it when it was happening, but it was still rape. It was, I'm not, fuck it, let's be honest. I agree. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong or good.
The funny thing is, there's a prostate gland for a reason, you would think. So it's strange how does that like people shouldn't rape fucking little children, but our sex, it's strange that there's a thing. I've never had it before personally, but I've heard
Oh, you've got to get out more, Scotty. There's plenty of time for our sex. But I always thought, why would you stick a fucking penis up your ass, right? But then I've really enjoyed it a few times. I always tell people that, and if it shocks them, then fuck it. I hope that one day they open out their own experience with their own body for a little bit more freedom or whatever. Fuck it. You don't have to like it. I don't like it every time it's happened either. But sometimes I have liked it and sometimes I haven't. It's the same as when somebody licks me out or whatever. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. It's got so many complex, intertwined fucking things, this stuff. And we've all got to stop judging each other on what the hell we're doing in our bedrooms, as long as we're not hurting anyone.
Yeah, I had one girlfriend who liked it and the other one didn't. It didn't really matter. To each their own. But
it's interesting, isn't it?
What we do about bodies is our own business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And also at times when I've become awakened to the fact that I may have been socially engineered to look into that, to do that. By, God knows what porn or, the Kinsey stuff. Who knows why we do what we do, or who knows why my boyfriends who wanted to do it did it. But I am aware at times that maybe I was engineered to want to do that or to do it, or I don't know. I'm open to the fact that I could stop doing anything tomorrow. I mean, you never know who you're going to be tomorrow. That's what I like about life.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, we're all here for an experience.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
When it comes down to it, that's the only reason we're here, for an experience.
Exactly. That's one of my favourite sayings, man, is you don't even have to fucking learn. Everyone's like, oh, you have to learn, it's life. It's like, you don't have to learn. You can go through as dumb as you want, as many times as you want for eternity. You never have to freaking learn a thing. But experience is a very good teacher, and for me, you get smacked in the head enough times, you get slapped around the face, you get run into a wall, you get hit by a truck, you get hit by a train. Eventually, shit starts to sink in, even for the most resistant of us.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing, we come to this life, we do whatever we want to do, but, and some people say, oh, why is it disease? Why is it bad? Why is it this and that? Yeah, well, we have to have duality. Because if there was no bad, you wouldn't know what good is.
Exactly,
if no good,
my friend.
How would you know what bad is?
It's that
If there's
fucking
no hate,
simple.
how would you know what love is? You know,
And
it's
it doesn't
simple as
make
that.
it easier when you're in it. It doesn't make you cry any less or want to bang your head against a wall any less when you're in it. But thank fuck we are still alive enough to feel something. Because so many people are in such excellent control, and I am myself a lot of the time, that, you know, that they can't even feel. But luckily for us, we've got these doorways open to be able to follow truth. So was 9/11 your awakener? Or something
probably.
else?
It was definitely 9/11. I mean, you know, that was a shit show. I kept watching documentaries. And it's funny because I showed one of my mates who I respected and thought was quite smart about 9/11. And I showed him a documentary. I forget which one it was. Which one it was? What's that? Anyways. Oh, no. It wasn't that one. It was the other one. I forget the name of it. Fuck. Anyway, there's many of them out there. And it was so obvious the documentary was exposing all the bullshit. And then he's like, oh, this is just bullshit. What do you mean this is just bullshit? And then years later, like, I'm talking to him on Facebook about, you know, I have a post, and then because I wasn't friends with him anymore, and then he sees a post from another friend about flat Earth, and he's like, oh, that's bullshit, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, let's debate. And then one of my mates who knows me was like, oh, you're in for it now, mate. And I just destroyed him. Yeah. And like, and he had nothing, and it was just unbelievable. And he didn't realise that he just got butt raped. Yeah. He didn't realise that he got raped. You know, that's the thing. These ballers don't realise when they've been destroyed. They have no idea about it.
They don't yet know how brainwashed they are. They don't yet know that they're very firewalls that have been built in to ridicule you and to
Agent Smith. You know.
Yeah. You know, that little picture when you're a little kid, boats can't go over the curve. Shit like that.
And the funny thing is, it's like when you speak to some ballers, you get hard and saying, whoa, let's take it back a step, right? What are your opinions on 9/11? Or is the official story correct? Oh, yes. Well, mate, your fucking opinion is absolutely garbage on anything else.
What do you think about the moon landing? That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, the moon landing. Oh, fucking, that was so real, Alicia. That was so real.
It was as real as Tesla car on the way to Mars.
Oh my god! It's so real because it looks so fake, and he's laughing at him. He's laughing at you. He's fucking like they think that they're having a laugh about us people believing things are fake, but they're laughing at the people who believe it's real.
Yeah,
in your face.
Yeah,
with that comment, and it's like, are you fucking retarded? And people don't see the conditioning or the brainwashing all around you. No. It's like, they're just docile retards. And
he's a mind control. He's MK handled. I'm quite convinced. He also has been regularly set up with like beta kitten slave chicks and stuff. He's like he was set up to do something, and he's not worked out, or his programming has failed. Exactly. Elon Musk, I reckon.
Oh yeah,
something has gone wrong with him, especially lately, because they are letting him make a cock of himself in the media on Twitter and stuff.
All they're just like cocky about, you know.
If you don't want billions of people to know the Earth is flat, then you better shut fucking Elon Musk up.
Yeah, but
you better shut
the thing
up.
Is, right? The thing is, they use reverse psychology with that statement, right? Yeah. If I was a brainwashed simp and he said that statement, I'd laugh like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Like I would. But since I know all the bullshit now the joke's really on everyone else.
How nice is it to be free of that programming? And the other thing is so exciting is like we are now at this point where we can start to explore because we know where we're not, you know?
Yeah, you know.
Great stuff.
Because once you sign your birth certificate, you know, you're classified dead at sea, you know,
exactly.
And it's just like, what? What are you talking about? I'm dead at sea,
We could go into
and we're corporations, you know. So what do we mean we're corporations? We're flesh and blood human beings. I'm not a name on a piece of paper.
Exactly.
And the thing is, when most people use these arguments in court, the funny thing is, and when most people become sovereign citizens, right? And try and denounce all the shit that they've put on you, as much as legally they actually are in their rights by all their laws they set, they still just say no, see you later, go back to jail, or you know.
There's a lot of tricks. There's a lot of tricks that you need to know.
Yes.
And I do believe that freedom is possible, but I don't want to test it. I wouldn't go into their courts unless I was handcuffed and unconscious. No way.
Yep.
Hey, darling, I have to wrap it up in a minute, but
That's fine.
let's do another one in a week or something, yeah? Because I feel like we didn't even fucking get to Flat Earth hardly.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But
yeah,
I do want to go back. I do want to just find out a bit more of everyone's backstory when I meet them and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a shill, I'm an agent, so I come from a government background, you know.
Yeah, I can tell. Yes, you reek of it.
I'm very posh sounding and
Oh, you don't have to be.
But surprisingly, I've been called a shill before.
You don't have to be posh to be an agent. They love working class, mate. They love looking for people that look grassroots.
Yeah, mate. No government agent will promote me. Well, maybe they'll try and promote me to look at it worse. But as much as the way I sound or look or whatever, it's the information that comes out of my lips that really matters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think about all these people that can't seem to see me. Is like it's pretty funny, but I understand it. It's going to change sooner or later, and so. We just have to ride it. It's tipping point. I can feel so much change, so much power gathering in the logic of common sense taking back over us all.
Yeah, because we have energy fields all around us that we emit. And when more people are waking up, we're connecting unconsciously. You know what I mean?
I want to talk to you heaps about your dad and how that is like being around him and where he's at with it, or if he is or isn't able to be spoken
to.
Yeah,
well, a lot of information goes in one ear and out the other. I've tried to teach him stuff. I've tried to teach him stuff for so long, but all he does is watch TV.
Yeah, that's very hard.
There's not much you can do once they've been programmed all their life, and
I'm starting to have a bit of hope, right? Because when I went home this time, like I hadn't been home for 4 years to Australia, and this time, while my parents watch TV on their comfy chairs, they now have their freaking smartphone within hand's reach, and when the ads come on, they're there. They're on Facebook or they're on Google or they're researching shit. And
Jeez,
I mean, it's weird. Like I was talking to my dad about, Walt Disney was totally involved with L. Ron Hubbard, who started Scientology, and the Nazi war criminal von Braun or whatever. And my dad's like, no, Walt Disney wasn't involved with them. He had nothing. Or Jet Propulsion Laboratories. He's like, they didn't have anything to do with each other. I was like, Dad, Google it. So my dad Googles it right there in front of me, and I Google it too because I know exactly where I'm going to go and what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because I've already researched it for fucking hours. And then my dad goes, no, there's nothing here. And I'm like, Dad, I just found 916,722 results. And you're saying you can't find it, You need to suspend your current beliefs to be able to consider there's a possibility that there's something out there that you don't know that you think you know. It's so cool.
People keep themselves in their own mental cage.
Yeah, my dad said to me, what benefit is there for you to think like this? And I was like, it's self-empowering to be able to follow truth. And he sort of went, But I was,
how does it pay the bills? How does it change their life?
Oh, it does the opposite. It pays the bills, and that's why he's got the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was making me rich, he'd be freaking all over it, mate. He would be all over it if it was making me rich. He'd love to see me rich, suppose.
Oh, he would, because he'd come to see you pretty fast, wouldn't he?
What's that?
He'd come to see you pretty fast, then, wouldn't he?
Well, he's rich enough. He doesn't need anything from me, but everybody would always want more, I'm sure. But he would just, money garners you respect from almost everybody. If you have money, it's respect. And if you have like an aversion, I don't have an aversion to money. I just don't have any interest in it, and I recognise that it retards or limits or corrupts me so easily that I don't really pursue it with much gusto unless, I am hungry, or I need some weed, or I need the next thing that I need to pay the rent or the bill or whatever. But, and that doesn't garner much respect from most people in the world, but I like that as well. Keep the fuckwits at a distance. The people who really like you, and you know who they are.
Yeah, exactly, because they're the ones that stick around, for no reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they'll like you whether or not you've got your shit together, or whether or not you're saying things that they consider crazy. They'll still like you. They'll still put up with you. They'll still be around and ask you, why do you think those crazy things? That's all we need.
That's like Eddie Bravo. The reason why, as much as, if not all the stuff he says is accurate, Joe Rogan and then the rest of people in the podcast, they've been friends for such a long time. Because even when Eddie Bravo, in I think the late 2000s, he bet this bloke in jiu-jitsu, I forget his name, but it was a real high profile.
Gracie or something, yeah.
Yes, that's it, yeah, exactly, yeah. And I watched the match, and I saw Joe Rogan and Eddie together after that match, and that was years ago. So they've had a really strong relationship to the point where, if they didn't have a strong relationship, they wouldn't be friends anymore.
Oh, yeah. I'm really interested. I really love Eddie's energy and personality, and his kind of bumbling Columbo style of discovery and execution. I really like so many things about him, and I still feel that he is honest. And
he is. Yeah.
And I feel like he either doesn't know or doesn't want to know, or does know and doesn't know how to talk about it, or doesn't need to talk about it. I mean, if you knew your friend had been compromised, like we suspect Joe has been.
And the thing is, I'm still waiting for that Eric Dubai debate of Neil deGrasse Tyson on his podcast.
Oh, you got to go to my YouTube channel, dude. That's already been done. Didn't you know that?
What, the debate with Eric Dubay and Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, it's on my channel. I put it up.
When was that?
It's 13 parts, about 3 weeks ago.
What, on the podcast?
Yeah, it's hours of Joe Rogan, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Eric Dubay. It's awesome.
What?
Yeah, it's all on my channel. After we hang up the phone, you go check it out.
Yeah.
And if it breaks up our friendship, if you decide you don't like me, I just want to tell you it's been so much fun. I really like you. And let's do it again in a week if you still like me after this, okay?
Yeah, well, what I like, I reckon you're a fucking awesome, amazing person. And the thing is, thank God we own his, me and Dad own this house, and we've got a spare room. So if you ever want to come to Australia, you've always got a place to stay.
Don't joke about it, man. I'm
not joking about it.
I'd love to come to Melbourne and
there's an empty room. There's an empty room right there.
Do some live flat earth fucking harassing the Aussies in the streets.
Oh, well, we should do it together, I reckon. we'll get the camera out.
Do you know Smoke and Mirrors channel?
I've heard of it.
Smoke and Mirrors is excellent on YouTube, although he's up to channel number 9. They've banned his channel 9 times. He makes the funniest videos about all these false flags, like the Burke Street car bullshit. The baby that flew 150 meters down the road. This is why I like talking to you, Scotty, because you already know everything I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's synchronicity in reality and truth.
Yeah. Meeting other people who've bathed and indulged in the truth. It's so refreshing. It's like, wow, we can just jump from this to this to this to this to this and learn new things so fast because we don't have to stop at every point and go, oh yeah, there's a eugenics agenda. The elite consider 95% of us useless eaters and only need 5% of us to run their machine. Vaccines are part of the eugenics agenda. Oh yeah, the moon landing is fake. 9/11 wasn't it? Fuck. Yeah. It's just so great to meet up with other people who have done the work.
You
themselves.
You respect them because you realise their mental anguish, the friends they've lost, and you realise what they've gone through because you've experienced it yourself.
You do. I do totally understand and respect. And that's why these fake fucking agent flat earther bullshit artists and agents in other movements like 9/11 movement and Lots of these things. They all have different groups of agents to bust up reality for us.
Or Elissa, if I can, no agents exists. Have you heard the people like, well, like Patricia Steer and Mark Sargent, or let's not talk about, there's no agents. We're just all friends and we're just all this and that, blah blah blah. Fuck off. There's no agents. You fuck with. You're the clear example of agents.
Yeah. Yeah, Hey, I wanted to. Yeah, God damn it! I could talk to you for days. I wanted to talk to you about that recent Jeranism debate that you told me you watched. Jeranism's bad.
Oh yeah, well I've definitely heard a few what's it called? A few criminal things.
He does release a lot of interesting, good stuff in amongst. Yeah.
But he's a horrible debater, and the way he talks, it's not confident.
He makes stupid mistakes. He's just he annoys the shit out of me, actually.
And yeah, like that debate was awful. That debate was fucking awful. I'm like, dude, there's so much evidence. There's so much evidence for Philadelphia. Why don't you just actually? Because what he did is he agreed to the terms and he started waffling about not actual evidence. I'm like, dude, there's more evidence on our side than theirs. Why don't you actually present it and stop just waffling on? He made us all worse. I could have done a better job than that. And he's fucking get 110,000 subs for some. He makes good videos, but it looked sus, that video, and it just looked sus because every time he has a debate against Fred's rhetoric, he doesn't debate properly.
That's what their job is, just to all look fucking ugly and horrible and hateful, and they are, and they're just grotesque. And those people, they were so unfair. Oh, I can't watch that shit anymore. Anybody that I suspect has a bad smell about them, I just steer clear until somebody's doing work that's so good that I have to watch it. There's so much good stuff out there still, and stuff that you could revise over and over until you can actually teach it to somebody yourself. You haven't learnt it really. So I'm aware a lot when I start talking to people out in the world about it, how much I don't know and how much I need to, even I was listening to Dell the other day.
Knowledge can be addictive.
What was that?
Knowledge can be addictive.
It's totally addictive. It's complete. Yeah. It's probably slightly better than sexual addiction or cigarettes or alcohol, but it's still an addiction, and it is a way to avoid the emotions. That's for sure. It's not the highest work. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're already doing that. But anyway, next time we get together, can we do it in another week or something?
Yeah, well
I'll try and get that D-Live thing happening, because I just don't want to do fucking live streams on YouTube because it's too corrupt. It's too corrupt.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
No
well, the thing is, I've got your Skype now, so it's a lot easier to communicate.
Yeah, exactly.
Email isn't hard, but Skype's live, so no problems. Any day, time, I'm pretty free right now for quite a while. So
good to hear, mate. And don't ever let that bullshit get you down, because I gotta say, I was on the dole from fucking 20 years old until I left Australia, because I was always self-employed. And I always had cash jobs, and I always made little fucking poetry books and CDs and sold other little things, and I always did massage, and I've always taken what I could as well from the government, because it was just I never liked the government, and but at the same time I feel like they're taking all the time, and I don't know, I just I always would get what I could, but I tell you what, they nearly broke me.
Oh,
that dole office nearly broke me, and the best thing I ever did was get off the plantation, and still struggling to this day, but learning to live in the world like it's 500 years ago, and you've got to find something within yourself that you can interchange with other people for money or food or rent or just like that. We've all got to learn to live like that, because all those systems are going.
Exactly, and the more we say they're going, is it's all about mentality. Just like with depression, if you're depressed, stop thinking in the past. If you got anxiety, stop thinking ahead in the future. You've got to live in the moment and now. And I've overcame all that kind of stuff by using the power of the mind. You have to concentrate on life, what makes you happy. Because as soon as you delve and think about things that don't affect you anymore, they only affect you because you let them affect you. You've just got to concentrate and do things in life that make you happy, and that's it, and live in the moment, and you can get rid of it all, and get rid of all the mental fucking gymnastics that you're trying to do to yourself to, be happy, and just be happy.
Just do things that make you better and better instead of less and less, if you can.
Yep.
And when you're not, don't worry. But don't worry about. Just observe the self-love in you and observe the self-hate and the self-sabotage, because every single person has both. Every single person probably has equal or even more self-hate than self-love, even though nobody admits that. And we're all supposed to love ourselves, So, it's natural to want to sabotage. It's natural to do things that are unhealthy, diminuting yourself, making yourself uglier, sicker, fatter, sadder, whatever. That is natural reaction for a being born in a zoo like we all are. But then we also have a side of us that loves unconditionally all things, no matter what they even do. And we have so much good and so much bad. But let's do another one of these talks. God, it's 12:30 and I have to be up early.
We can even schedule a weekly thing and go from there.
Absolutely, and I do want to try, and I'll do some exploring on how to do it on D Live. Because then it's on the blockchain and nobody can censor us and we can go freaking crazy.
Oh, beautiful!
Not that I already am.
I'll suss it out too, and I'm looking at how to use it, because if what you're saying is right, then this could be the platform for the future, really. Because YouTube, nothing but sensitive rubbish.
I tell you what, if we make $10 a show, that's $5 each, and if we do 50 shows in a year, then that's $250 each. And if Steam goes up by 15 times, like it did last year, then we got 15 times $250 for sitting around and fucking helping ourselves and therapizing ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. For talking and discussing things that are important, that matter, and that we,
This is what's moving the world forward, my friend. Is actual real people expressing real things. It's rare as fuck.
Exactly, and you and me sound, more real than especially the average person, because, especially from where we come from. So it's easier for, say, Australians to listen to this, you and me, and be like, they say the same reasonable fair income, and more relatable than the average person. So I'm starting to jive with what they're saying.
I like it. I like your positive outlook. That's cool.
Well, you have to have one, in a world that's fucked up, right? It makes you more humorous and even more positive in a way, really, because surprisingly, I'm more happier knowing what I know than not. And it makes
me too. I would never trade this knowledge, this open-mindedness. I would knowledge never go back. I've heard some people say, "Oh, I don't want." I heard John Harris, who was a sovereign guy, who I wonder if he was an agent. He died a couple of years after becoming a sovereign, and sort of treading the path for many people, and then he died in some weird circumstance, and I think maybe he was bumped
as they all do,
or maybe he was an agent and he just got assigned in a different environment. They try and scare us off.
They do, they fucking or they try and make it so hard to go along on your own.
And it's all very simple, right? We're all equal under the sun, and if anybody wants you to do something, you can just say, yes, I conditionally accept your offer, but here are my conditions. That's all we all have to do. So we can always be positive with everyone,
Yeah.
You can say no, but say yes first, and then say, but these are my conditions.
Yeah, I agree, exactly.
Nobody has the right to do anything to us, but... Yeah, the thing is keeping ourselves calm and keeping ourselves loving towards our brothers and sisters, even when they're brainwashed, even when they're agents, even when they're...
Because you got to realise...
what's it called? Following orders,
Because you got to realise we were all once there before, but it's hard to think that we were because it was so long ago for most people, like us.
I can remember it. I can remember the fear I used to live in and all sorts of shit that I just do not miss at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and terrorism and caves are going to come kill you, It's like, not really.
Yeah, the payoff we get might not be monetary, but we get some. I can feel an internal power that I wouldn't swap and I wouldn't be able to buy anywhere. And
yeah,
it's
just like when you said that time when you felt yourself, what you really are.
It's the power of God.
So have I as well. Like one time, when I got home from work, I was tired. I was this that, and then I smoked a bong, and then I closed my eyes, and there was a whole other world there, a whole other world.
Marijuana is a very precious herb.
And I freaked out because there's a whole other world. I closed my eyes, and things were manifesting and creating. Like there was a whole other world in my head, and then I opened my eyes, and then I could see the underlying like I guess symmetry of reality around me. So I freaked out because I couldn't escape if I closed my eyes because I was in another whole crazy world, and I couldn't escape in this world because I felt what I was, and it wasn't this body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the avatar, the soul, the energy moving it, and it was crazy.
It's God itself, if you ask me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But,
and God is great, and God is small, and everything.
Yep. Our consciousness is an expression of God.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
What's your evidence for God? I'm speaking to you right now, and I'm conscious about it.
Toenails are an expression of God. A Coca-Cola can is an expression of God.
Yeah. Yeah. Your tits and my cock is an expression of God.
Yeah. What
Everything.
did you say in the last one?
I said your tits and my cock is an expression of God.
Oh, I thought you said Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, fucking tits, cock,
exactly. Actually, our tits and asses are much more expressions of God as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
and a lot of
that's really where it's at.
Yeah.
Anyway, my darling, I on that fucking awesome note, highbrow. Let's get together again soon, my dear Australian friend, new friend.
Yes.
Nuevo amigo. Yeah,
100%.
all right, what day is it? It's Monday night here. And what day is it there? It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday about 3 o'clock, 3:30. Well,
right.
actually, it's 3:33.
Actually, it is too. Fucking Freemasons.
Yeah.
3:33 Freemasons.
Best number of letters to fucking numbers to end it on, right?
Well, I think it's 3 11s, and 11s are beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, let's chat in the next few days. And actually, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube if it worked. Okay. If it recorded, I reckon we should put it up and just see if anyone wants.
How do I mirror it? Is it rated to mirror it from your channel and have it?
Oh yeah. You can.
I'm not sure. I haven't done it before. Mirrored.
I'll send you the instructions. It's not hard. It'll just take me a minute to write it out.
Yeah. It sounds good.
It'll be done by about 20 hours or 24 hours from now because I got to get up and do shit in the morning.
That's fine.
All right. Well, lovely to chat, Scotty, and thanks for that.
It's been great.
Yeah, we'll chat soon.
All right, see ya.
Good luck.
See ya. Love me and leave me.
Oh yeah, I do.